Da 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 da. I don't got a song, but I'm gonna do this. Alright. So we start now. Warp game over screen. I took out the AI that nulls out your continues, because that's not an arcade game. If you have the quarters in there and you got the credits, even if you're at that, it'll still do it. The problem is when it resets the game, it would get rid of your credits still. So that's what it is. I don't know what to do about that. I think I'll just have you warp to the title screen instead of having you restart the game. You could just have it warp to the title screen, go to warp. Anyway, I'm going to restart the game. So, restart the game. Instead of having the thing, you just have it stop moving or just null or, it advances to restart the game. These ones don't restart the game, so you still need to have a monster or some kind of method to restart your game, a timer or something. Alright, so game objects. We're still using the letter. We're still using these numbers. So we don't need that script anymore. Anyway, I put it in my game, in my post draw. So he says to have it check for your gamepad selection. So that would be the select button I did. So that's when you put a quarter in. If you're gonna have your coin slot on your arcade machine wired, you have it wired to the select button on the emulator for your Nintendo. So the button it would be emulating would be that select button. So that when you put a coin in or something, it's saying if it's pressed, you do this. It's not pressed, just go to done adding. So when you press it, loads up your continues, checks. If you have 9, it doesn't do anything, it just goes to done adding. If you don't have 9, it'll increase your my continues. And then I had to put a bunch of, I could delete this now. This is if you wanted to have it on a HUD element. You would have it then update the HUD element. Then I had to put a whole bunch of do wait frames to make it slow down when it's adding. So when you push the button, it doesn't do it like a bazillion times. I found the best number was, what is this, like 7 of them? 6 was alright, but 7 made it a little more or less touchy. Alright, so no matter what the outcome is, if you added or if you didn't add, it continues on and then it does this. It shows the number based on what you have. Then it jumps to not pressed. And not pressed, it goes to RTS. I have this all in here just in case to double check it. None of that was needed. So, anyway. It goes to done adding from this. The important part is these go to done adding down here. It still shows these regardless of whether you added something or not. Okay, so originally we also have the sprite pre-draw doing credit. If you really don't want to have this in the sprite pre-draw and have everything from this in one file, you could, cut this out paste it here. Something like that. So no matter what screen you're on, press select. You notice I have the HUD, but the HUD isn't updated. The actual number is though. So I'm gonna remove that HUD. See, now it updated when the screen changed. You don't need that HUD element anymore. So we go to HUD elements. Right here, this one, just none. So we don't need, we're one less HUD element. And we're actually showing our continues without using a HUD element. And it's on the screen, the bottom where we want it to be. So yeah, hold on. So yeah, Dale said to basically do that gamepad check with the separate these two. I think he meant like the order. I was doing it in the wrong order. If you watched my previous video, it was kind of in like the wrong backwards order. Um, so what I did after all of that was I had to go and change my inputs. First of all, I got rid of my old input that was already deleted off the input editor. And then what I did was I used Game State 5. I'm probably not going to use Overworld in my game, so I could use that for something else. I could have used that for the continue, but I wanted to show you in case you're having an Overworld in your game that you can use this one. So just, it doesn't matter which one. I don't have any scripts that are referring to this. I just picked this state as this state that I'm doing, and I labeled it in project labels. But you can use any one you want as long as it's one that's not currently used. So what we have here is on the continue screen, you press start and you're running continue from game over. And you press add. So it's right there. On the continue screen, press start, continue from game over. Right, so if you're on a if you have any game over screen scripts on here, you might want to get rid of them. I got rid of the one that I had on here, placed it with that. So what happens is if you go to continue, say you have 9 continues, or even say 6, just any random number. You go to the game over screen for continuing. Say continue. Then what happens is, if you don't continue, to go to the game over screen, you'll still have the same number of credits, but you won't be able to press start to use them. I'm pressing start right now and it's not using any of my credits. You can add to the credits, but you can't. And then see, once you reset the game, resets your credits. So the way to fix that is if you're playing, say, an arcade game and you don't want it to reset, is you gotta figure out what your first game screen is. Like, this is the one that I would basically be using. That's what Underworld screen 1, 2. So I go to my game over screen, have it warp out to screen 1, 2. Then you need to change your monster to something else. So in my screen group, your day monsters, you gotta make sure that one of your day monsters is Yeah, warp short, warp long, warp game over. So we don't have a monster that will um continue screen, but it'll warp you to a screen. We have that warp short one. So what you do is reset your placements. Place monster 1, warp short. Now when you die, your game over. It should warp you to that screen. And then it'll appear as if you reset the game. So like say the game, got you to this screen and you started the game playing it. Say you don't have any credits. Say you had a credit or whatever, used it. I'll show that it works too. So there it works. Here's that little error at the bottom. I think there's a buffer fix on the forum or something for when you're warping to screens. There's like sometimes a problem with that where it draws artifacts or something they were calling it. Eventually we can add a fix for that. As you see, it only shows up once in a while. Alright, so we used oh no, we're out of credits now. We don't have any more quarters. Oh no, what do we do? Oh, we can add quarters. But what happens? Oh, it sets you back to that screen. And you still have your credits. And as you see, you still have your credits and you're on your normal screen or hard screen. Pick your character. Ooh, that was weird. Credits 7 now. So I might have to check that. Essentially it works though, but maybe it has something to do with the code that picked her. I don't know, but it's kind of close to working, right? Just that was kind of weird that for her it made it a little different. When we go game over, what happens? Interesting. So for the most part it works. Let's see where it's going. Sprite pre-draw. When it loads these numbers in a temp, no, it's not messing with the start screen. But I think it's messing on the character select screen when I hit that button. Oh, I did hit select when you're on the character select screen. So we're gonna have to make it when you're on the character select screen. Whoops. You don't select with select. And when you're doing the normal, you don't select with select. We're selecting with up and down. Oh boy. Well, we could do it a different button. Let's see what happens. Hold on. Let's see, we got it right here. You're in character select and you press start. No, you press select right here. That's a start screen. That works too. And then there's character select one. Selection start screen. Let's try that. Okay, so start screen. I'm gonna press down. Selection start screen. Then this one is character select. We're going to do left and right. So it's left or right. Selection start screen. Delete that one. Now hopefully this works. I understand why it's doing it. Apologies for this video being longer, but at least for troubleshooting and showing how I'm fixing it. I can include some of these scripts in the final video. Okay, so you get to the start screen. Just pushing down. I can make it so I guess if you press up or down. So okay, we get this one. This one's not moving from left or right. Oh, it just moved there. That's weird. It's moving from like diagonal right. My controller might be messed up, I don't know. I gotta look at the game thing now, hold on. Yeah, it's being fishy, it's like my controller, the right button on it, it's really weird. Now it's doing it like when you hit, sometimes when you hit up and right, that's weird. So I'm gonna change it in my game, the input editor. Character select, press left. Keep it, left or right, whatever. I'm hitting left, I'm hitting right, as you see, and it's barely. I don't know why it's requiring me to hit up or whatever too though. Or up and down. Boy, let me try to do that. I'll remove both of these. Just keep it on pressed down. Start screen, what is it? Press down, you press up. Start screen, changes selection. character select, pressing up, pressing down. We try that. That's so weird that up and down works just fine. The left and right was being really buggy. Anyway, I'm keeping it. In your game, you might want to change whatever you select this with. You can have it selected with A button or something. But yeah, so that was what the error was adding the credits when I did that. Anyway, I add the 8th one in there. Makes it so it doesn't do it as much because it seemed to when I hit the button, seemed to be doing it still a little sticky. See? Try that again. Yeah. I mean, if you really hold down that button, it'll go. I might want to put a couple more, make it even 10. 10 wait frames, Jesus. That's a lot. See if that works. I hope it doesn't ruin it. I just wanted to make it so it's not as sensitive. It's really sensitive. And it doesn't seem as bad. I can't tell at this point. I think it's a little better. So yeah, but either way, every time you hit the button though, it does increase it. Now we could also have it do kind of the same thing we did in this post draw. So if we did something like this, but it just doesn't, it does a different, basically, right here, if you're in the character select screen, oh no, not the pre-draw. If you were doing that selection, sorry, this is just me showing extra stuff off. I mean, we're good now. If you go to selection, start screen, do something like, you'd have to transplant this whole script into like a pre-draw or post-draw. I think that's what Dale was saying. To like make it so you could do the button press and then you have to add the right there the gamepad. Um I'm wondering if there's something in here is why I wasn't really liking to go left or right with the selections. I think it's because this does selection up and down with the D-pad. And it says selection up, selection down. And this is jumping to if you're on the character select screen. Oh, TempX right there. The one that uses TempX stores in here. It's only taking these into account. So this is a select button. These would be the up and down. So I'm sure if I put the left and the right in there, that's why it was being weird with the input in there. Because it's not accepting it basically. It's saying it'll only work it if it's doing the up or the down. So this is what you would have to change for your game, to change your selections for your character select screen. You'd have to have another part of this to jump to make it go through that. Right now it's just checking this. And it's checking what you pressed and increasing it or decreasing it based on if you pressed or Anyway, so yeah. That's essentially the video. So I'm going to include this post draw script with everything. This pre-draw script, all you had to do is just cut out this part, or if you don't want that in there and you just want to keep that in the pre-draw, you could do that. Just don't have this. Delete this from the script when I include this script. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't need to include this. This is the same script. Then your continue credits. That is actually all included right here. So make sure, like I said before, you take out that other old continue credit script too. Alright, so I'm gonna include the sprite post draw script. And that should be enough. Alright, I hope you found this video informational and helpful, and possibly it helped you make your game into more of an arcadey feel game. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you next week in the next video. Please subscribe and like for more videos. Thank you, and have a great day.